When I walked into the courtroom that morning, my daughter, Lauren, rolled her eyes and whispered something rude to her husband, Ryan. But then something strange happened. The judge looked up, froze for a second, and whispered in shock, "It's her." The whole courtroom went quiet. Nobody there had any clue who I really was until that very moment. That trial changed everything. My name is Margaret. I'm 69 years old, and until a few months ago, I was just a regular grandma living a quiet life. Every morning, I woke up at 6, brewed my coffee in the same chipped mug I'd used for 20 years, and watered the African violets my late husband loved so much. My life was simple and peaceful, filled with little habits that gave me comfort. For 45 years, I was the kind of mother who gave up everything for my only daughter, Lauren. I worked night shifts cleaning offices, sold homemade cupcakes on weekends, and even sewed clothes to earn a few extra dollars. I did all that just so she could go to college and have the life I never had. When she married Ryan, an arrogant man who never said anything kind to me, I swallowed my pride and still welcomed them every Sunday with a warm meal and my best smile. I thought after my husband passed away, Lauren and I would become closer. I was wrong. Instead of drawing near, she started treating me like a burden. Her visits became colder and less frequent, and her excuses for not coming grew more creative every week. Then came the most painful day of my life, a dull, gray Thursday in October. I had made her favorite meal, chicken and dumplings, the same recipe that always made her smile when she was little. I set the table with my best tablecloth, the one I embroidered by hand when she was a teenager, and even bought fresh flowers for the center. When they arrived, Ryan walked into my house like he owned it. He dropped himself into my late husband's chair and turned on the TV without even saying hello. Lauren wore a green dress I had once bought her, but her expression was cold as ice. "Mom, we need to talk," she said in that distant tone she had developed since marrying Ryan. She sat on the edge of the chair, clearly in a hurry to leave. "Ryan and I have made a decision," she continued, while Ryan kept his eyes glued to the TV. "This house is too big for you. You can't handle it alone anymore. And we need a bigger place for when we have kids. We've found the perfect retirement community for you." It felt like the floor disappeared under me. This was the house where Lauren took her first steps, where we celebrated birthdays, where her father had died holding my hand. Every corner was full of memories. Every photo on the wall told our story. "But Lauren, this is our home. All our memories are here," I said softly, my voice trembling. "Memories are in the heart, Mom, not on the walls," she replied coldly. "The retirement place has fun activities for people your age. You'll have friends your own age too." Ryan smirked, looking around the room like he was already the new owner. "It's for the best, Mrs. Margaret," he said with that fake smile I'd always hated. "We'll handle all the paperwork. Don't worry." My heart broke into 1,000 pieces. The daughter I had sacrificed my whole life for was now throwing me out of my own house to give it to that awful man. Tears filled my eyes, but I held them back. I wouldn't give them the satisfaction of seeing me cry. "I need time to think," I said quietly, trying to sound strong. "There's nothing to think about, Mom," Lauren replied, standing up. "It's already decided. The appraiser's coming next week." And with that, they left, leaving my chicken and dumplings untouched, the flowers wilting, and my heart shattered right there at the table where we used to laugh together. That night, I couldn't sleep. I sat in the kitchen, staring at the photos on the wall. Lauren as a baby, Lauren's first day of school, her graduation day. In every picture, I was there, holding her, smiling proudly. How did it come to this? How did the little girl who once called me her hero now treat me like I was nothing? The next few days were torture. Ryan showed up with a real estate appraiser without even warning me. The man in the gray suit walked through my house, taking notes and measuring rooms like I wasn't even there. "The pipes are old," he said. "These kitchen tiles are outdated. You'll have to replace them." Those tiles were put in by my husband when Lauren was 10. Each one held hours of his hard work and love. But to them, it was just old. Then Lauren came over with colorful brochures. "Look, Mom, this place has pretty gardens and they play bingo on Tuesdays," she said with that fake sweet voice. "Plus, they have a nurse on duty all day. You'll be safer there." I'd lived in that house for 30 years without a single issue. I knew every neighbor by name. I had my plants, my routines, my peace. But none of that mattered to her anymore. She just wanted me gone. Then one day they came with papers. Ryan, Lauren, and a lawyer. Mrs. Margaret, we have the documents ready for the transfer of the property. We just need your signature, the lawyer said. Transfer? I asked, confused. I thought you were selling the house. Lauren looked away. Well, Ryan and I decided to keep it. It's better for the family to hold on to properties. That's when I realized the truth. They didn't just want me out. They wanted my house. It wasn't care. It was theft, wrapped in fake concern. I'm not signing anything, I said, trying to sound firm. Ryan stood up sharply, his fake politeness gone. Ma'am, you're not in a position to make decisions anymore. Lauren is your heir, and she's acting in your best interest. This is my house, I shouted, surprising even myself. And I'm not leaving. Mom, don't make this harder, Lauren muttered, looking uneasy. You know you can't live alone. You even forgot to turn off the gas last week. That was a lie. I had never forgotten that. But Ryan smiled like he'd just found his weapon. It's not safe for her to stay here, he said smugly. The lawyer added coldly, Ma'am, if you don't sign voluntarily, we may need to pursue legal action. A mental incapacity case, for example. I felt the world closing in. My own daughter wanted to declare me mentally unfit, just to steal my home. The man I'd accepted as a son was now threatening me in my own living room. I was a 69-year-old widow, standing alone against them. I need time, I whispered weakly. You have 1 week, Ryan said, his voice cold. After that, we'll do what we must. When they left, I fell into my husband's old chair and cried harder than I had since his funeral. I cried for my lost daughter, my stolen home, my broken heart. That night, I thought about giving up. Maybe they were right. Maybe I was too old, too tired, too useless. Maybe I should just fade away quietly like they wanted. But deep inside, something refused to die. A small flame of pride and strength that still burned. I wasn't going to let them destroy me after everything I'd done for them. The next day, Lauren came back alone. For a brief second, I hoped she had changed her mind. Maybe she was here to apologize. But I was wrong again. Mom, I came to help you pack, she said flatly, holding a bunch of empty boxes. We can start with your clothes. I stared at her, searching for even a trace of the daughter I once knew. But all I saw was a stranger, cold, distant, and heartless. Lauren, I whispered. Please reconsider. I'm your mother, I said softly. That's exactly why I'm doing this, she replied, still avoiding my eyes. Because I love you and I want what's best for you. Love. She called this love. Taking away my home, my pride, and everything I had left. That was love? For the next few hours, Lauren moved through my house like a stranger, packing up my life as if it were junk. She threw family photos into boxes without care. She wrapped the books my husband gave me, the dishes from our wedding, and the tablecloths I had embroidered through long, lonely nights, all treated like trash. This dress is so old, Mom. You don't need it anymore, she said, holding up my mourning dress. The one I wore to my husband's funeral. Leave it, I begged quietly. Please just leave it. But she ignored me and dropped it into a donation bag. My pain didn't matter. My feelings didn't matter. I didn't matter. Then came the final blow. She opened my jewelry box, the one that held my wedding ring, the earrings my husband gave me for our 20th anniversary, and a small gold chain that had belonged to my mother. These will be safer in a safe deposit box, Lauren said, slipping them into her purse. They might get lost or stolen at the community. Those are mine, I shouted, reaching for her purse. Mom, you're getting upset, she said in that calm, cold voice that made my skin crawl. This just shows you can't take care of yourself. In that moment, I knew my daughter was gone. The real Lauren, the one who used to run into my arms, was dead. In her place stood a stranger, heartless and poisoned by greed and her husband's manipulation. That night, when she left, taking my jewelry and the best parts of my life with her, I sat alone in my half-empty house. The bare walls stared back at me, reminding me how easy it was for them to destroy everything I'd built. I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. I sat on the cold living room floor, surrounded by half-open boxes and scattered memories, wondering how it had come to this. When had I become invisible? When had I stopped mattering? The next few days were a living nightmare. Ryan started coming every morning, acting like some kind of supervisor. He brought strangers into my home. People who measured, photographed, and valued everything as if I weren't even there. "The lady needs to speed things up," Ryan said to Lauren one morning. "The movers are coming on Monday." It was Friday. I had only 3 days left in the house where I had lived for 30 years, where I had raised my daughter, where I had loved and been loved. "What if I don't finish packing?" I asked softly. "Don't worry, Mom," Lauren replied without even looking up from her phone. "The movers will handle it. Just take what's essential." "What's essential?" I whispered, as if an entire lifetime could be squeezed into a single box labeled essential. That afternoon, after they left, I wandered through my home like a ghost. I touched the walls my husband had painted with his own hands. I sat on the chairs where we once had breakfast together. I opened every drawer that held tiny pieces of my past: movie tickets, birthday cards, sewing needles. Then, while searching through my husband's desk, I found old letters, receipts, and a few documents. Most of them didn't matter, but one folder caught my eye. It had my husband's initials on it, and was locked with a tiny key. Curious and desperate to feel connected to him again, I searched for the key. I checked all his usual hiding spots until I finally found it inside an old book, marking a page about investments and properties. When I opened the folder, my whole world turned upside down. Inside were documents I didn't fully understand, but one paper stood out: a will, dated just 6 months before my husband died. I had never seen it before. My hands shook as I read. My husband had been far wiser than I ever knew. And Lauren, oh my poor Lauren, had no idea what she was about to find out. With trembling fingers, I began to read the will that would change my life forever. My husband, the man I believed was just a modest worker, had quietly been building something far greater. Over the years, he had saved every spare dollar, buying small properties and investing in company stocks. Those small investments had turned into a fortune. But that wasn't the best part. The will said clearly that everything belonged to me. I was the only heir. Lauren would only get something after my death, and only if she had taken care of me with love and respect during my final years. My husband had seen what I refused to see. He had known what Ryan truly was. He had protected me, even after death. Then I saw another detail that left me speechless. My husband owned the entire building where Lauren and Ryan lived. The apartment they thought they were paying for each month? It was ours. Every tenant in that building had been paying rent, directly to an account under my name, one I never even knew existed. With shaking hands, I flipped through the bank papers. The balance was unbelievable. For 2 years after his death, I had been living like a poor widow while a fortune was sitting untouched in the bank. And there was more. He owned a large share of the company where Ryan worked, enough to have serious influence over it. There were also investments in restaurants, small businesses, and even a huge piece of land on the edge of the city, now worth millions. I went through every paper carefully: contracts, titles, certificates, all neatly organized and perfectly legal. My husband had quietly built an empire, and I was its queen, without even knowing it. But what touched me the most was a letter tucked inside the folder, written in his handwriting. It was addressed to me. "My dearest Margaret, if you are reading this, it means I'm no longer with you, and you've found what I left behind. Forgive me for keeping this a secret, but I wanted it to be a surprise for your golden years. You worked so hard and sacrificed so much for Lauren and me. I wanted to make sure you'd never lack anything again." Tears streamed down my face as I read his words. I must also confess something. I never fully trusted Ryan. There's something about him, an ambition that worried me. That's why I set everything up this way. If Lauren loves and respects you, she'll have a comfortable life. But if she mistreats you or tries to take advantage of you, you have all the power to protect yourself. He had predicted it all. He had seen through Ryan from the very beginning. Use this power wisely, my love. Not to harm, but to protect and to teach. Deep down, Lauren is a good person, just lost. But if you ever need to defend yourself, You now have everything you need. Signed, your husband, who loves you for all eternity. I sat there on the floor, surrounded by papers worth millions, crying, but for once, not from pain. I cried for the wise man I had lost, for the daughter I was losing, and for the strength and hope that had finally returned to me. For the first time in months, my tears weren't bitter. They were tears of gratitude, of relief, and yes, of quiet satisfaction. Lauren and Ryan thought they were taking everything from me. They didn't know I owned the building they lived in, the shares at Ryan's company, and other properties across the city. They believed they were kicking me out to keep my house for themselves, without realizing this house was the least valuable thing I owned. That night, I didn't sleep, but for the first time in weeks, it wasn't from sadness. My mind was busy, planning and calculating. My husband hadn't just left me money. He gave me power. Now I had to decide how to use it. Monday morning came with light rain tapping the windows. Lauren and Ryan arrived early with the movers, expecting to find me packed and ready. Instead, they found me calm in my favorite chair, sipping tea like it was any normal day. "Mom, what are you doing?" "The movers are here," Lauren said, impatient as always. "I'm not leaving," I answered, surprised at how steady my voice sounded. Ryan stepped closer with that familiar threatening smile. "Mrs. Margaret, we already discussed this. You don't have a choice." I looked straight into his eyes for the first time in years. "You're right, Ryan. I don't have a choice. And neither do you." Something in my tone shook them. Lauren moved closer, worried. "What are you talking about, Mom?" "I'm talking about something very interesting I just learned about my finances," I said, taking another sip. "Don't worry, you'll understand soon." They stared at me like I was rambling again. But I wasn't the scared woman from last week. I had a plan. And the power to carry it out. "Mom, stop with the games," Lauren snapped. "The movers are waiting. They have other jobs. Then they can go," I said calmly. "They're not moving a single thing here." Ryan shot to his feet. "Ma'am, you don't understand. You don't have a choice." "On the contrary, Ryan, you're the one who doesn't understand." I stood, walked to the desk, and picked up a few documents I'd set aside. "Tell me, did you know your apartment, the one you've lived in for 3 years, has never been paid to the real owner?" Lauren frowned. "What are you talking about? We pay rent every month." "Yes, to a property manager who deposits the money into my account, because I own the entire building." Silence. Heavy, shocking silence. Ryan laughed nervously. "That's impossible. You live on a tiny pension." "I lived on a pension because I chose to," I said, enjoying their confusion. "My husband was smarter than we knew." I showed them a property deed. Lauren took it with shaking hands and read it once, twice, 3 times. This can't be real." "It's as real as you trying to throw me out to keep my house," I replied. "And this house is the least valuable thing I own." Ryan snatched the paper. His face went pale. "This must be fake. Forged. Feel free to verify it," I said with a smile I hadn't felt in months. "In fact, I encourage it." Lauren dropped onto the sofa, stunned. "Why didn't you ever tell us?" "Because I didn't know until 3 days ago. Your father kept it secret to protect me. He was a visionary." Ryan started pacing, agitated. "This changes everything, Lauren. If your mother owns the building, she can evict you whenever she wants. Along with all the other tenants who've been paying me on time for 2 years. I finished for him." "You can't do that," Lauren said, her voice cracking. "We're family." "Family?" I let out a bitter laugh. "Like when you planned to declare me mentally incompetent to steal my house. Like when you packed my memories like trash. Like when you took my mother's jewelry?" Lauren started crying, real tears this time, not the practice ones. "Mom, please. We can fix this. It was all Ryan's idea." "Lauren," Ryan barked, furious. "It's true," she said, ignoring him. "He told me it was best for you. He said you were losing your memory and couldn't care for yourself. And you believed him?" I asked quietly, feeling my heart break again. "Did you know me so little that you ignored your own instincts?" The movers drifted toward the doorway, confused. "Excuse me, are we loading or not? We've got another job soon." "No," I said firmly. "Nothing leaves this house. You can go. Ryan stepped closer, his temper showing. This isn't over, old lady. We'll challenge those papers. We'll prove they're fake. Go ahead, I said, unbothered. In the meantime, I hope you've saved up, because on the 1st of next month, you'll get an eviction notice. You can't do this to us. Ryan shouted, losing control. I can. And I will. Don't worry, I'll give you the 30 days the law allows. Lauren stood suddenly. Mom, please. You have to understand. Ryan told me that if I didn't convince you to move, he'd leave me. He said he couldn't stand knowing you were here alone and unsafe. And that excuses what you did. I asked. Treating me like garbage, packing my memories without care, taking your grandmother's jewelry? I'll give it back right now, Lauren said, digging desperately in her purse. It's too late for that, I said. Ryan stepped forward again, but his tone had changed. He sounded almost pleading. Mrs. Margaret, we can make a deal. Lauren is pregnant. Are you really going to throw your grandchild out? It felt like a punch. Lauren was pregnant, and I found out as blackmail. Is that true? I asked. She nodded through tears. I wanted to tell you differently. I wanted it to be special. Special, like surprising me by kicking me out of my home. I said, feeling my resolve tremble. Then I remembered my husband's letter. Not to hurt, but to protect and to teach. Lauren needed to learn, and that baby needed better values than Ryan's. The pregnancy softened me for a moment, but the pain was still there. A baby didn't erase the humiliation or months of cruelty. Congratulations on the baby, Lauren, I said evenly. But that doesn't undo what you did. Mom, please, she begged. Think of your grandchild. Do you want them to grow up without their grandma? Their grandma has been here the whole time, I replied. You're the ones who wanted me gone. Ryan tried one more trick. If you really have all this money, why not help us instead of punishing us? We could be a united family. A united family? I looked at him with pure contempt. Like when you threatened to have me declared incompetent. Like when you turned my daughter against me? I never. Quiet, Ryan. My voice came out stronger than I expected. I've heard enough of your lies. The movers left. The house fell into thick silence. Lauren cried softly. Ryan paced like a trapped animal. For the first time in months, I felt calm. Here's what's going to happen, I said. You have 30 days to find another place. During that time, don't come here unless it's a real emergency. And after that? Lauren asked, broken. After that, we'll see if you've learned anything about respect and family. Ryan exploded. This is emotional blackmail. You're using money to control us. Manipulation. I laughed, low and bitter. Like when you used a fake mental decline to control me. Like when you used my love to pressure me. It's different, Ryan muttered, but even he didn't believe it. You're right, I said. It is different, because this time, I actually have the power. Lauren stood slowly. Is there anything we can do to change your mind? Yes, I said without hesitation. But I doubt Ryan will do it. What is it? She asked, clinging to hope. I want a real apology, for every humiliation. I want you to admit you treated me like trash. And I want Ryan to admit it was his idea. Ryan's face went red. I'll never humiliate myself in front of you. Then start packing, I said simply. Lauren turned to him, pleading. Ryan, please. She's my mother. You can swallow your pride for our child. No, he shouted. I won't bow to this manipulative old woman. The insult hit the room like a slap. Lauren's mouth fell open. She finally saw him clearly. Manipulative old woman, I repeated softly. So that's what you really think of me? No, Lauren whispered, but Ryan had lost control. Yes, that's what I think, he spat. A bitter old woman who can't stand seeing her daughter happy. That's why she made up this story about the money. Made up. I walked to the desk and pulled more papers. Did I make up these bank statements? These deeds? These stock certificates? I laid them out across the table until there was no space left. Lauren stepped closer, hands shaking. Oh my God, Mom, this is real. It's all real. Very real, I said. And now you see why your husband is desperate to discredit me. Ryan tried again. Lauren, your mother hid this for years. She's lying. No, Lauren shouted, startling us all. Stop it, Ryan. Just stop. She turned to me, tears streaming. Mom, forgive me. Please. You're right. I treated you like trash. I took your memories, your jewelry, your dignity. I did it because he convinced me you were a burden. Lauren, don't. Ryan started. He filled my head with lies about your mental health, she continued, ignoring him. He made me feel guilty for leaving you here, when all you wanted was to live in your own home. Be quiet, Ryan ordered. Don't you ever tell me to be quiet again, she yelled. I'm done with your manipulation. I'm done letting you use me to hurt my mother. Silence. Heavy and final. Ryan stared at her, cold and dangerous. Choose her over me and we're done. Lauren stood still, thinking. Then she lifted her chin and met his eyes. Then we're done. Ryan froze. For years he'd controlled her every move. Now she'd said no. You're not serious, he stammered. You're pregnant, Lauren. You can't raise a child alone. I won't be alone, she said, and for the first time in months she looked at me with love. I have my mother. But I wasn't ready to forgive so easily. Months of humiliation don't vanish in a minute. Lauren, I said softly. I'm glad you finally see the truth, but this doesn't fix everything. Her face fell. I know. I don't deserve your forgiveness, but I'll do whatever it takes. Sensing he was losing, Ryan changed tactics. He dropped to his knees, wearing that fake remorse I knew too well. Mrs. Margaret, you're right. It was my fault. I pressured Lauren. Please forgive me. I looked down at him, feeling both satisfaction and disgust. Now you want forgiveness, because I'm not the poor, helpless woman you thought. I was wrong, he said quickly. Let me make it up to you. We can be a happy family. A happy family? I echoed. Like when you threatened to have me declared incompetent? That was a mistake. Like when you called me a manipulative old woman 5 minutes ago? He swallowed hard. I was upset. I didn't mean it. No, I said firmly. You meant it. You finally showed your true face. I turned to Lauren, whose eyes were full of shame and pain. And you treated me like a burden for months. Do you think an apology erases that? No, she whispered. I can't erase it, but I can make it right. How? She looked at Ryan, still on his knees. Then she looked at me. By leaving him, she said. By leaving the man who convinced me to betray the only person who ever loved me unconditionally. Ryan jumped up. You can't be serious. You're having my child. I'm having my child, she replied, steady and strong. And I won't let my child grow up watching you abuse and manipulate their grandmother. You're making a huge mistake, he threatened. The huge mistake was marrying you, she shot back. He glared at us with pure hate. This isn't over. I'll fight for custody. I'll prove you're both crazy. With what money? I asked calmly. Tomorrow morning, I'm speaking to your boss. I own enough shares in your company to influence personnel decisions. Ryan went white. You wouldn't dare. After everything you've done? Of course I would. That's abuse of power, he muttered. Like abusing a mother's love? Like abusing Lauren's trust? I replied. He headed for the door, then turned back. This won't end here. I'll destroy you both. Try, I said coolly, but do it from somewhere else. You have 1 hour to get your things out of my building. 1 hour? You said 30 days. That was when Lauren was with you. Now she's on her own. You have no reason to stay on my property. He slammed the door so hard the walls shook. For the first time in months, Lauren and I were alone. Surrounded by a heavy silence and a table full of papers proving a truth we were still absorbing. Mom, Lauren said after a long pause. Can you ever forgive me? I looked at her, 30 years old, pregnant, betrayed by her husband, and guilty of betraying me. I don't know, Lauren, I said honestly. You hurt me deeply. I know, she whispered. I'll spend the rest of my life trying to make it right. With what? I asked. By giving back Grandma's jewelry, she said, pulling out the little bag she'd taken days ago. And by asking if I can stay here tonight. I have nowhere else to go. I looked at the jewelry bag. then at my pregnant, lonely daughter. My heart softened, just a little. "One night," I said at last. "Tomorrow, we start talking about how you'll earn my trust back." Lauren nodded, tears of relief on her cheeks. "Thank you, Mom. I promise I'll make it right." But I knew promises are easy to say, and hard to live. The real test came in the days that followed. Those next few days were strange and tense. Lauren stayed in her old room, the same way I'd kept it since she got married. During the day, we moved around the house like polite strangers, only talking when we had to, about breakfast, the weather, or her morning sickness. But I was watching her every move, every word, every little effort she made to earn back my trust. And what I saw gave me hope. For the first time in years, my daughter started taking care of herself without waiting for someone else to do things for her. She washed her dishes after eating, kept her room spotless, and even helped me with house chores without being asked. On the third day, I was watering my violets by the window when Lauren walked in holding a cup of tea. "Mom, can we talk?" she asked. I nodded but didn't turn around. I had learned that silence can say more than 1,000 words. "I've been thinking a lot these past few days," she began, sitting in the chair where Ryan used to sit like a king. "About everything that happened, about the things I did and said." I kept watering my plants quietly. "I've realized something," she continued softly. "It wasn't just Ryan who changed me. I let him change me. I chose to believe him instead of trusting my own heart." I finally turned to look at her. She had dark circles under her eyes and looked thinner, even though she was pregnant. It was clear she hadn't been sleeping well. "And why do you think that happened?" I asked gently. She sighed deeply. "Because it was easier to blame you than admit I married the wrong man." That honesty caught me off guard. I expected excuses, not this kind of truth. "When Ryan started complaining that you visited too often, I knew he was wrong," she went on. "But it was easier to call you clingy than admit he was selfish." She rested her hands on her small baby bump. "When he said you should move to a retirement community, I knew it wasn't right. But he convinced me it was for your own good. I wanted to believe him, because that way, I didn't have to face the real problem." "And what was the real problem?" I asked, though I already knew. That I married a man who didn't respect my family, didn't respect me, and never would. In the following days, Lauren opened up more, and what she told me chilled me to the bone. She said Ryan had slowly cut her off from her friends, saying they were bad influences. He controlled every penny she spent, claiming women didn't know how to handle money. He even made her quit her job because real wives stayed home. "And you never thought to tell me any of this?" I asked one afternoon. "Ryan told me you wouldn't understand," she whispered. "He said you were from another generation. And if I told you our problems, you'd just tell me to leave him. He didn't want you involved." Every word hurt. My daughter had been living in pain while I believed she was happy. And by the time she tried to reconnect, Ryan had already poisoned her mind against me. 2 weeks after Ryan left, Lauren got a phone call that drained the color from her face. "It's the building manager," she said nervously. "Ryan's in the lobby. He says he has the right to come up since he's still my husband." "And what did you tell him?" I asked. "That I don't want to see him, but he won't leave. He's yelling that this is kidnapping and that he'll call the police." I stood up calmly. "Tell the manager I'll come down. I'll talk to him myself." "Mom, he's really angry. We don't know what he might do." "Exactly," I said quietly. "That's why I have to go." When I reached the lobby, Ryan was shouting at the terrified manager behind the desk. "That crazy old woman has my wife locked up," he yelled. "Call the police right now." "Good afternoon, Ryan," I said evenly. He spun around. His eyes were bloodshot. He'd clearly been drinking. "Give me back my wife right now." "Lauren is exactly where she wants to be," I replied. "And if you don't leave my property immediately, I'll be the one calling the police." "This isn't your property," he snapped. "You're lying." I took out my phone and dialed my lawyer, putting the call on speaker. "Elaine Carter," I said when she answered. "It's Margaret. I have an aggressive man here refusing to leave my building. Could you confirm that I'm the legal owner?" "Of course, Mrs. Margaret," came her calm, professional voice. "You are the sole owner of the property located at Ryan went completely silent. The manager's eyes widened, realizing the truth. Anything else you need me to clarify, Ryan? I asked after ending the call. This isn't over, he muttered, but his voice had lost its edge. You're right, I replied. Because tomorrow, I'll be talking to your supervisor at work. And the day after, to the bank that gave you your car loan. Connections can be very useful when you have money. Ryan didn't say another word. He just stormed out. But I knew he'd be back. Men like him never give up easily. 2 months later, the storm arrived, the day of the trial. Ryan had done exactly what he'd threatened. He sued us for parental alienation and financial manipulation, demanding full custody of Lauren's unborn baby. That morning, as I got dressed in my best black suit, Lauren came into my room, tears in her eyes. Mom, I'm scared, she whispered. What if the judge believes him? What if he takes my baby? I hugged her, for the first time in months. Her body shook in my arms. That's not going to happen, I said firmly. We have the truth on our side. When we reached the courthouse, Ryan was already there, with a lawyer who looked far too expensive for his wallet. Ryan glared at me with that familiar hatred. But this time, I wasn't scared. I had something he would never have, peace of mind. Lauren and I sat together. She wore a purple dress that hugged her 5-month belly. I wore the earrings my husband had given me on our anniversary. We were ready. Ryan's lawyer started, painting me as a bitter old woman who used her money to destroy a happy marriage. He called me manipulative, controlling, and toxic. A mother who couldn't accept her daughter's independence. Then it was our turn. My lawyer, Carter, stood with calm confidence and began laying out our evidence. Text messages where Ryan insulted Lauren. Recordings of him threatening to leave her if she didn't throw me out. Testimonies from neighbors who'd heard his shouting and abuse. But the turning point came when the judge looked up and stared at me. Mrs. Margaret Hale? He asked, his voice uncertain. Yes, Your Honor, I replied, confused. He took off his glasses, studying my face carefully. Did you work at the family court about 30 years ago? My heart skipped a beat. Yes, Your Honor. I was a secretary for Judge Miller. He smiled faintly. You helped me when I was just an intern. You showed me how to organize files. You brought me coffee when I worked late. You were kind to me when everyone else ignored me. The whole courtroom went silent. Lauren stared at me in shock. Ryan went pale. Then the judge said softly, Your Honor, I'm Judge Nathan Cole. Do you remember me? And suddenly, under the gray hair and wrinkles, I saw him. The shy young man from decades ago who once worked in my office. The boy I once defended when other lawyers mocked him. The one I encouraged when he doubted himself. Nathan, I whispered, eyes filling with tears. Of course I remember you. The judge smiled, and for a moment he looked like that unsure young man again, waiting for approval. I never forgot your kindness, Mrs. Margaret. You told me I'd be a great judge one day, when even I didn't believe it. Ryan and his lawyer exchanged panicked looks. They knew they'd lost before they started. Your Honor, Ryan's lawyer cut in. This is a conflict of interest. There's no conflict, Judge Cole said firmly. There is justice. And after reviewing all the evidence, it is clear Mr. Ryan Pierce is the only manipulator here. The verdict was decisive. Ryan lost all rights to the baby and was ordered to stay away from Lauren and me. He also had to pay legal fees and damages for emotional harm. When we left the courthouse, Lauren hugged me like she hadn't since she was a little girl. Mom, how did the judge know you? Life goes in circles, honey, I said. Kindness finds its way back when you least expect it. 6 months later, when my granddaughter Serenity was born, I knew everything had been worth it. Lauren found herself again. She became the loving mother I always knew she could be. One afternoon, as we rocked the baby in the garden, Lauren asked the question I'd been waiting for. Mom, have you really forgiven me? I looked at her, this woman who had grown so much, who now valued what truly matters. I forgive you, Lauren, I said at last. But more importantly, you've learned to forgive yourself. That night, while I made tea in my old chipped mug, I thought of my husband and his letter. I had used the power he left me exactly as he hoped, not to hurt, but to protect and to teach. Lauren learned that real love isn't control, it's respect. And I learned it's never too late to stand up for your dignity. I looked out at the garden where my granddaughter was playing and smiled. Some battles are worth fighting, and some victories are sweeter because they take time. In the end, I didn't need to shout to be heard. I just had to remember who I was, and stand firm, with the calm of someone who knows they're on the right side of history. 5 years after the trial, my life had become something I never imagined. Little Serenity, now 4, with her mother's bright eyes and my stubborn streak, ran through the garden chasing butterflies while Lauren and I prepared Sunday lunch. "Grandma Margaret, look what I found!" Serenity yelled, running to me with a yellow flower. "It's beautiful, my love," I said, lifting her for a kiss. "Shall we put it in the vase?" Lauren smiled from the kitchen. She had blossomed in every way. She went back to school, now worked as an accountant at a small but successful firm, and most of all, she had her easy, joyful laugh again. "Mom, a letter came for you," she said, handing me an elegant envelope. It was from the foundation I'd started 2 years earlier with part of my husband's inheritance. We called it Home and Dignity, a refuge for older women facing abuse or abandonment. What began as a way to honor my own story had become much bigger. "What does it say?" Lauren asked, wiping her hands on her apron. "They're inviting us to open the third house," I said, feeling that deep, quiet joy that comes when pain is turned to purpose. "We'll shelter 15 more women." Over the years, we had helped more than 50 women rebuild their lives. Some came like I once was, stripped of dignity by ungrateful children or abusive relatives. Others had no family at all, just the same aching story of being cast aside. The doorbell rang, breaking my thoughts. Lauren opened it and returned with a knowing smile. "Mom, you have a visitor." Retired Judge Nathan Cole stepped in with an elegant silver-haired woman. "Mrs. Margaret," he greeted, wearing that same warm smile he'd had when he was young. "This is my wife, Marilyn." "It's an honor," Marilyn said, taking my hands. "Nathan has told me so much about you. How important you were to his career." "He exaggerates," I said, though I was deeply moved. "Not at all," Nathan replied. "We're here to invite you personally. The Retired Judges Association is giving you an award for your work with the foundation." "That's not necessary," I began. "Yes, it is," he said gently. "Your story made many of us reflect on true justice, the kind that goes beyond the written law." After they left, Lauren and I sat on the porch while Serenity played with her dolls. The garden looked lovelier than ever. I had a gardener now, but I still cared for the African violets my husband loved. "Do you know what I admire most about you, Mom?" Lauren asked suddenly. "What?" "That you never turned bitter after everything I put you through. You didn't let the pain harden your heart." "Of course I felt bitter," I admitted. "There were nights when resentment ate at me. But your father taught me something precious in his letter." "What did he teach you?" "That real power isn't revenge. It's turning pain into something useful for others." Lauren nodded. She understood. She was living that change herself. She volunteered at the foundation, using her story to guide younger women trapped in toxic relationships. "Did you ever find out what happened to Ryan?" she asked. "Carter, my lawyer, said he moved to another city. Apparently he remarried." I paused. I hope he learned something. But honestly, it's not my concern anymore. "You're not even curious?" "No," I said simply. "Some people come into your life to teach you a lesson. Once you learn it, you let them go." Serenity ran over, cheeks pink from play. "Grandma, will you tell me the story of the brave grandma?" It was her favorite, our gentle, child-friendly version of what happened. In it, a grandma discovered she had magic and used it to protect her family from a big bad dragon. "Again?" I teased, but I was already lifting her onto my lap. "And don't forget the part where the good judge helps her," Serenity added. As I told the story for the umpteenth time, I thought about how strange life is. I had to lose almost everything to see what I truly had. I had to hit rock bottom to find my real strength. "Happily ever after?" Serenity asked when I finished. "Happily ever after," I said. "The brave grandma found her happy ending." "You found your happy ending, Grandma," she whispered. I looked around. Lauren setting the table, the garden in bloom, my granddaughter in my arms, and a letter promising help for even more women. Yes, my love, I said. I did. That night, after tucking Serenity into bed, I sat in my favorite chair with tea and a stack of letters from the women we'd helped. A 75-year-old thanked me for giving her the courage to stand up to her abusive son. A 60-year-old wrote that she had reclaimed her home after her grandchildren tried to swindle her. Every letter proved my pain had been turned into something larger than me. Lauren sat beside me with her own cup. What are you thinking about, Mom? Your father, I said. How proud he'd be of what we've built. I'm sure he's watching, Lauren murmured. And I'm thinking of you, I added. How proud I am of the woman you've become. I learned from the best, she said, taking my hand. We sat in quiet, enjoying the calm of the night. Far away, the city hummed softly. Here in our garden there was peace. I love you, Mom, Lauren whispered. I love you too, honey, I replied. I always have, even in the darkest moments. And it was true. A mother's love survives hurt, disappointment, and betrayal. It's stronger than pride, longer than resentment, and richer than any fortune. That night, I slept deeply, no nightmares, no worries. I had found something worth more than money. The peace that comes from using a second chance wisely. In the end, it wasn't about how much money I had or how much power I used. It was about turning pain into purpose, humiliation into strength, and experience into wisdom for others. I learned the most important lesson of all. It's never too late to stand up for yourself. Never too late to change your story. Do you like my story? And which city are you listening from? Tell me in the comments. Thank you so much for your support. I'm looking forward to your comments. On the screen, you'll see 2 more life stories I highly recommend. There's so much more on my channel. Don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next life story. With love and respect.